All right, today we're going to do a deep dive into the Blustream UEX100E-KIT. Our mission here is to really get into how this thing solves a very old IT problem, taking standard connections, things like USB, and stretching them a full 100 meters. That kind of distance is usually a complete non-starter.
It really is. And what's so fascinating here, the core of it is the technology that makes it possible. We're talking about HDBaseT.
Right.
For anyone who's not familiar, that's the standard. That's the trick that lets you bundle everything, data, power, even control signals, and shoot it down a single standard CCAT cable, 100 meters. It just, it simplifies everything.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The main payload here is USB 2.0. When you're pushing USB that far, what are the limits we need to think about, and how does this kit keep it stable?
Well, the stability really comes from that HDBaseT backbone. It supports the full USB 2.0 bandwidth. So we're talking up to 480 megabits per second.
Okay.
And it's also fully backwards compatible with older USB 1.1 devices, which, is critical for some of those legacy systems out there.
So that's the speed, the throughput. But what about capacity? Because if you're running a cable 100 meters, you're probably not just connecting a mouse. You're thinking keyboard, webcam, maybe even a power-hungry printer.
Exactly. And it's designed for that kind of load. You can connect 4 separate USB devices on the transmitter side.
4 devices.
4, and they all funnel back to a single host. But here's the important part. It manages the power intelligently. 2 of the ports are rated for 1 amp each. So your power-hungry devices, maybe a special camera or a tablet, they get the juice they need.
Ah, I see.
And the other 2 handle your standard 500 mAh devices.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, I have to bring up a concern. When you put everything, USB data, audio, IR control, Ethernet, all on one cable, doesn't that create a massive single point of failure?
That's the classic trade-off, isn't it? Simplicity versus redundancy. But the trend we're seeing in enterprise is definitely moving this way. Because the savings on, cable runs and just general system complexity are huge. This one cable carries the whole suite. You get 2-channel audio, bidirectional IR and RS-232, and even 100 megabit Ethernet pass-through.
Wow.
It's not just stretching a cable. It's replacing, 4 messy, separate runs through your walls.
So for the person who's actually deploying this, what's the installation like? Power, specifically. We're talking about 4 different power bricks?
Not at all. That's where power over cable or PC is it's a game changer.
Okay.
This kit has bidirectional PC.
Bidirectional, so you can power it from either end.
From either end. You just plug in the 24-volt DC supply on the transmitter or the receiver side. And that flexibility, it just makes deployment so much simpler, especially if one end of the run is somewhere really hard to reach.
Okay, and just some final details for you. The person may be thinking about buying this. It comes with a 5-year warranty, and it's TAA compliant, which is a big deal for any government or large enterprise procurement. So what does this all mean for you? You get this massive range, you get reliable bandwidth for a bunch of devices, and you get a unified signal path that collapses all that complex wiring down to one robust C-key cable.
And that raises a really important question for system architects, I think. When you get this level of consolidation, your data, your power, your control, all in one stream, does that fundamentally shift your strategy? Do you move away from localized control hubs altogether and just make highly centralized maintenance the new default? Think about how that ripple effect of simplicity changes your entire design philosophy going forward.